every day I walked through the stage door, I was like, I can't believe I'm walking into a Broadway stage door. This is so exciting. It was really a great experience, and we are all still friends from that. It really, like, those were those ones that really, I even ran into Jessica Bovers a couple of months ago on the street. Michael Holling was in that show. So many talented people were there, and it was such a unique collective experience that we made it through together on. And in the inverse, like, then it was Spring Awakening right after that. And that was the opposite thing, where in my life, all those actors had to shut out what was going on outside in order to be able to do their show. And same thing with Spring Awakening, but obviously differently. You would just shut out all of the, like, articles and reviews and praise and Tonys and whatever, and just come to the theater and do the show. And Tommy Kail would talk about that a lot during Hamilton. From the first preview, it was like insane literally outside the doors of the theater, even with the Ham for Ham, like, lottery and stuff. And he was like, but the minute you come in, like, he was like, let's just always make a pact with each other that when we close the doors of the theater, that's what this is about. And it's like a sacred space for us to perform in and do the show, and whatever happens outside of those doors is what that is. But the minute you walk inside, it's just about doing this play, just about doing the work. And I felt like I learned that from In My Life, and then Spring Awakening, and then Hamilton as well. Or in any job, really. With Frozen 2, they had to shut out the, like, noise of the first movie. Like, that's why they did all that therapy stuff. Because they were like, we have to figure out a way to, like, not think about the zeitgeist version of all these characters and everybody singing and the pressure of, like, writing a musical and Let It Go was such a phenomenon. They really had to go, like, get a clear head and shut it all out and just focus on what it is they were doing.
Well, I suspect that in my life,
In my life
will probably be the only show that you'll ever have a Joe Allen on the wall.
Oh,
so.
well, please, no, life is long. Hopefully. I mean, that's the other thing. Like even Holt McCallany, who was my co-star on Mindhunter, his mother, Julie Wilson, the famous cabaret singer, we would talk all the time because Holt is, in his mid-50s, and this Mindhunter is, like, catapulted him to a whole other level career-wise. He's getting all these opportunities, and we spent a lot of time in a car together. We basically spend the whole show in a car, in, like, old, like, cars that smell like gas that they don't make anymore. And we would there's like and so we spent a lot of time talking in the car, and he would talk about, like.
Well, Julie was in Legs Diamond.
Yes, that's just about to say this. Yeah, she was in Legs Diamond, and she was nominated for a Tony for that.
Yes.
And he would say, my mom. He was like, I saw my mom. We were just talking about, like, the life of the actor and how it's like completely inconsistent, highs and lows. I'm sure I'll have a poster at Joe Allen, probably. And like another one, and the like he was like, Julie, was a film star. She was in all these amazing musical films, and amazing, like, run of Kiss Me Kate in the West End, and it goes on to get nominated for a Tony, even though the show didn't succeed. And then he said, and then she went on the road on, like, a bus and truck tour of A Little Night Music. Ironically, and he's her son, so it's kind of like in the show when the mom goes on the road, Desiree, when she goes on unpack the luggage, and he said, and then she comes back onto the scene as this cabaret star, and she's celebrated and respected by the people that know.
Yeah.
But like, not by other people. It's like he really had this perspective of, like, this is the artist's life. It's like you go through so many different. I happen to be, like, in a moment of
That's Jewish.
Like, I know. I got it from Leah. In, like, a moment, it's like all waves. It's like you go, it all comes in waves and whatever. And we were like, thank God we're in this car right now doing this TV show for David Fincher. Like, life is really good. And he would talk a lot about, like, his mom, and just, like, there's no upward, it's just like
trajectory.
There's no trajectory.
Yeah. Well, Jonathan has to go be Suddenly Seymour.
Right. Yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.